Hey guys, how you doing? So I wanted to talk about the AI hysteria. I think that's a bit strong of a word. It's not exactly hysteria, but it's definitely a little bit of chaos in the market now. So we have at one end people saying it's a total bubble, it's all garbage, AI doesn't work at all, it hallucinates too much. And on the other end, you have people saying AI is the next Terminator, and it's all over, all jobs. Both are false. So my opinion on this is based on 30 years experience in software. So I understand the game. The reality of the situation is that there is problems with AI in terms of hallucination, in terms of badly written code, AI writing the bad code. But there's also lots of great implementations as well. What it comes down to is that if you're using AI, you have to know how to use the tool properly. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get slop output, whether it be slop code, slop design, slop video. You're going to get slop if you don't know what you're doing. And I've talked about this over and over and over again. If you're going to use AI effectively, you have to use tried and true software development principles that everybody knows about. Separation of concerns, fine-grained objects, that sort of stuff. Good system level design, system level thinking. These are the fundamental skills that will allow people to effectively use AI. To put it in non-programmatic terms, it is as if the AI have a limited capacity, or well, I'm going to try. I guess I'm going to have to use nerd terms. AIs have a limited contextual capacity. Basically, if you give the AI too much to do in one shot, you're going to get a mess. So what you have to do is you got to give the AI structure. You got to give it structure so that, and you got to isolate its task so that you get the best result. To take it a step further, you have to understand the different models out there, whether it be frontier models or local models. You have to understand which ones are best for a particular task. It's kind of like hiring an expert. If you have some electrical work to do, you're not going to hire a plumber, right? And if you have some plumbing work to do, you're not going to hire a programmer. You're going to get a plumber. Same thing with these models. Different models are trained to do certain things. So the more tightly bound to a particular stream, a task, or more tightly bound a model is to a particular domain, a particular vertical, to use financial terminology, the better and more effective the model will be. So when this stuff all started happening a few years ago and people were out there going, oh my God, it's the end of everything, blah, 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 you can go look at my videos, I was one of the first saying, this is nonsense, it's not the end of anything, of everything. I said AI is not going to replace developers, it's just going to change what development is and how we do it. The reason I understood this and from the beginning is because I've been doing this for 30 years. I have seen several cycles. New technology comes in, there's a big pushback from the establishment, oh, this is garbage, and then it's slowly, the old stuff fades, new stuff rises, old jobs disappear, new jobs appear. We're starting to see that in the AI world. So one of the obvious examples, they say, oh my God, Facebook, Meta has fired, I think it was 10% of their workforce. And people go, see, it's AI. No. AI fired 10% of their workforce because the metasphere, or metaverse, there it is, the metaverse is a failure. They spent tens and tens, I think it's $80 billion on the metaverse, and it's a total crash and burn. That thing is going to become a footnote in the nerd history. It's such a, Zuckerberg was a good operator, no question. You don't build a company like that if you're not a good operator. Anyway, he made a mistake. He misread the COVID impacts on society, basically lockdowns. He misread that as being permanent. So just like Peloton bikes, he figured everybody's going to be doing the metaverse stuff. But unfortunately for the metaverse and Zuckerbucks and for Peloton, thank God we got out of this lockdown, and so now people are back to normal. They don't want to be in the metaverse. So that's why they've let go 10%. I don't have internal information, just as me observing from the outside using my bald-headed nerd and business brain. That's what's happening. So now they're starting to hire developers, but developers not who are good at metaverse programming, developers who know how to use AI. So that's the key. So in this discombobulated AI rollout that we're seeing, some failures, some successes, hysteria on one end, hysteria on the other end, that to me screams, as an entrepreneur, massive opportunity. Massive opportunity. If you're wise, you'll take advantage of this opportunity. This reminds me of the web, 1994, 1995. The old school Delphi VB6 programmers didn't like it because it's competition. And people even as big as famous as Bill Gates said that the internet, a fad, it's just a fad, he said. But the smart people jumped on early, and that's where all the money is. You want to get into a new market. The time to have gotten into Bitcoin was 10, 15 years ago, whenever it started, when it was like 5 cents a coin or $1 a coin. That's the time to get into it. The time to get into React development was 7, 8 years ago, when it was very hot. The time to get into iOS development was 2008, 2009, when it was very hot. Now it's the AI time.